What is up everyone, welcome back to SP Vids. In this video I want to share with you 6 killer tips for the SP404sx. These will also work fine for the A as well. Earlier models in the series, probably some of them won't work, some of them might. You'll have to try and just figure that one out for yourselves, I'm afraid. So if you've been a long time subscriber, some of these tips might be things that I've already mentioned before, but it might be good to just refresh your memory on them. If you're brand new to the channel or have only joined recently, a lot of these might be brand new and really useful for you to learn. So let's get straight into this one, guys. The first tip that I want to share with you is auto trig level, which you can see is under button 4 here. So if you hold function and hit 4, this dial comes up which says 0, and you use the very right hand knob to change. What this is doing is changing the sensitivity, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. So I usually set it to about 4 and you hit record to save it. Now what this does is the SP will only start recording when it hears a signal coming into it. So let's do record on an empty pad. I haven't got anything that I need to record, but this will be okay to show you anyway. So as you can see now, it's saying ready. So what it's saying is it's listening for a signal, and as soon as it hears a signal coming into the box, it'll automatically start recording. This is really cool because it means you don't have to mess around with the start point much anymore, really. It's really something you need to get in your workflow if you're making beats, because especially for drum sounds, it's really good. If a bass drum sound comes in, it'll just start recording as soon as it hears that wavelength. And also for the starts of samples as well, it's really good. If you're doing the very start of a track and there's a bit of silence and then the sample comes in, it'll catch it right on that piece of music. It won't record any of the silence at the start if you get the sensitivity right. So you might have to mess around with the sensitivity a bit, but it will sort it out for you, and it's really useful. Okay, tip number 2, which is one I've covered before, is you can set up the effects on your SP so that you know what they're going to sound like when you put them on. So for example, filter drive, I always like that to be all the dials pointed to the far left. But then if we hop to isolator and we don't want that sound, obviously, let's set all the bass to be off, because we just want it to filter out the bass a little bit high. Now when we flick between these, see how it's remembered what we kind of programmed in. So you can kind of tell the SP what you want for each of these pads, and then when you flick to them, it's going to remember what you originally set them up for. So that's a really handy tip, especially when you're playing live and you want to know exactly what the effect is going to sound like, which is going to go onto your live beat while it's playing. Okay, the third tip, which is something that not a lot of people that I've met that have an SP know about, is the remain button. So if you've got multiple chops on your SP and you want to apply an effect to it, let's say you want to apply effect to more than one pad at the same time, you hold remain and you hit the pads that you want the effect to be on, and as you can see here, it's highlighted them. And let's say we want MFX 16, because we pretty much always want that, don't we? As you can see, that's on all of them now, and to prove my point, I'll take it off the last one. So you can see what it's done there. And another quick tip as well, if you want to apply it to every single pad on the bank automatically, you just hold remain and press the effects button, and see how it's highlighted them all? Now they've all got that effect on. If you need to turn that off again, hold remain again and press the MFX button and it turns it off. Killer tip, that one. Really good and really useful when you're making beats. Okay, tip number 4 is MFX grab, or effects grab, sorry, which I've actually covered really recently. So when you're performing a live song, you might want to just apply the effect for just a tiny amount of time, or randomly, like random amounts of time, X amount of time. And the effects grab is a really good way to do that. So let's just see if we've got a sample that's long enough to demonstrate. And you can see what it's doing there. It's only applying the effect when I'm pressing the button. You can get really crazy and creative with this if you want. Let's just say we want it. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea with that one. Obviously you can use it in more practical and better sounding situations, but hopefully that demonstration shows you what exactly it does. Another little trick that should be known about the SP is that the sample time on it is massive. So this is why it's really good for live performances, because each pad can basically have a track on it. So finish your track in a DAW, or bounce it to something, put it in a DAW, and then bounce it back into the SP. or use the SD card program, which you can download for free off the Roland website, and you can just drag and drop full beats onto the pads and then put your SD card back in here, and they'll all be on there for you, and you can play full tracks just using hold. So you just start a track and press hold like that, and it'll play your whole beat through, and then you can experiment with the effects while you're doing your performance. So that's a really cool thing about the SP, and one of the reasons I think that it became so popular is because not only can you make little kind of microwave lo-fi beats on it, or just full lo-fi beats, you can also do live performances with it. So a really powerful box, and that's one of the reasons why. Massive sample time on it. The final tip that I want to share with you is that the SP is a really versatile box. That's the thing that we touched on just in the last point. And one of the things I wanted to demonstrate this is, imagine that this little camera here is my vinyl deck, and this is my laptop, the trusty plant. So we use this as a middleman. We record from here through the SP and then into the laptop, and what we can do then is use all the onboard effects, which the SP is so legendary for. So we've got 24 effects to choose from the side. You know, all the classics like vinyl sim, compressor, EQ, fuzz-wah, there's so many to choose from. So it's a really good through, like an effects through. I'm not sure if that's the right term for it, but that's what I'm going to go with anyway. So you've got your vinyl playing, you send a signal through the SP, back out again with an effect applied, and onto your laptop or like into your DAW. So then you've got the beauty of using a DAW but having the effects from the SP. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to combine the two, because there's always a lot of argument of, should I use a DAW, should I use an SP to make lo-fi beats? Well, there's a solid way that you can use both and get the sort of best bits from both, because you've got the tracking on your DAW and you've got the effects from the SP. On the older models, you can't add effects when the signal is going through the box. You have to record it onto a pad and then apply it. That's the great thing about the later models, is you can have a signal going through with an effects applied to it. So really, really cool tip that for this one. Right, so that's it for this one, guys. I just wanted to share some really cool tips with you in the SP, and it is such a great box. I love making videos about it, and I just wanted to get those out there for some of the newer subscribers to the channel that might not have seen it, and for anyone that's maybe not subscribed and is looking and interested in the SP. So I hope this helps you out and lets you understand what the SP can do a little bit more. If you like the video, please hit the like button, it really helps me out. It'd be also great if you could subscribe if you're not already. Got a really good community building here, and if you want to be a part of it, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Apart from that, use the link below to go and check out my latest beat tape on Spotify under my alias Gone12. I'd really appreciate it if you could go and give that a listen, maybe add it to one of your lo-fi playlists, just so it gets a listen now and again. I'd really appreciate that. And that's it for this one, guys, so thanks very much for tuning in again. I hope you're all doing well. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you've got any questions as well, just feel free to leave a comment below, and keep making beats. I will be back very soon. Peace!